And okay, right, one sec. Let me spotlight you, Ashley, and then shoot.
How do you spotlight me? What does that mean?
I don't really know, but it seems to make the recording a little bit easier to watch. So it just puts your face up in the.
Oh, I see. Okay. So we're in speaker view now. Okay, cool. So hello to everyone. Sorry I missed last week, but I am super excited to be here with you this week. My name is Ashley McDonald. I am a superstar director from a small little community called Pictou County in a small little province of Nova Scotia on the eastern side of Canada. As you can see out my windows here, we just got dumped with 50 centimeters of snow. So I am so happy to be inside, bundled up to chat with you guys today. When I had started chatting with the girls this morning about this today and what we wanted it to be, I am so excited. All day I was completely jacked because I thought, what an amazing opportunity to speak with all of you guys about different tips. And I know I didn't share my best tips with the others, but today what we're going to do is each spend 15 minutes with you, take some time and go over our best business tips for all of you, so that hopefully you can take what you think is valuable to you and use it in your own business. So my very first tip that I want to share with you is that you need to believe in your product. You're going to first see me looking down a lot. I made notes today, which normally I do not, because I am very squirrel brained. Not to say that that's not going to happen, but we have less chance of it happening with this paper in front of me. So I don't mean to be rude and look down, but it's better for everybody that I do. So the very first thing is you need to believe in your product. You honestly need to love and feel what you're selling. If you don't love it, then it's going to be very hard for you to make others feel that they love it and need it in their life too. So you need to sell with enthusiasm, because enthusiasm is contagious. And once people feel that enthusiastic feeling, then they're most likely going to want to buy the product. Now, you ever hear when people say, oh, role play and sell me this mouse? It's the same as a warmer. If you showed the scent of the month warmer in Canada, it's the one with the 3 inserts. So if you did a live video with that and you said, you should buy this warmer because it has 3 inserts and that's kind of cool because it's like 3 warmers in one. Okay, and then you end that video. Do you think people are going to want to buy that? No. If you went on and we're like, okay, guess what? We have a new warmer and it has 3 friggin' inserts in it. Like, how cool is that? You can switch it out when you get tired of it, because I know, like me, I get tired of things super easy. So just to plop something else in there, people want to feel that energy. I don't mean that you need to be like that all the time, but when you're showcasing a product, you need to love it and you need to let others know that you love it just as much. I promise it works. Promise. You might feel crazy the first couple times that you do it, but once you get over that, it's totally fine. So when I say love the product, I mean really, really, really love the product. I use Mary Kay, and for those, I don't know if you guys have it in the UK or wherever you're watching it, it's a direct sales company, it's a makeup company, and I love Mary Kay. I use it every day faithfully. It is my go-to. I have my consultant that I use. It's just that I love it, but I don't love it. You know what I mean? I could never sell it because I'm not passionate about it. Even though I love the product, I'm not passionate about the product. I'm passionate about Scentsy. And I hope that all of you guys watching this really, really, really have that feeling deep down inside that you love this company, because it is an amazing company to be a part of. And when people say it's more than wax and warmers, and I don't want to get into all that foolishness, it really, really is, because it's a community. It's a whole, it's a feeling, right? Okay. But I don't get that anywhere else. I've never sold for another direct sales company before, so I don't really know what the others are about. But I know here, it's just, I love it. I love it. I can sell anything. I could sell you this coffee mug. It could be completely empty, and I bet you I could sell you it. Do you know why? It says inspire the soul. How does Scentsy inspire you? Take things that you use daily and turn it into a sales tactic. Just make it a part of your everyday life. My number 2. Oh, look, cheers, Tam. And anybody else who has this mug. Look at you all, nice. Okay. So my number 2 is build genuine relationships with your customers. So for those who are watching right now, I'm gonna switch my, I can't switch it to gallery view because I'm locked out. Okay, tell me in the comments if I'm right. For those who are watching right now, what is the most important thing to you? You're probably gonna say like your spouse, because that should be the right answer. But I guarantee you, if you have children or pets, that's going to trump the husband or the wife or the boyfriend or the girlfriend. Guaranteed. If you have a little furry little friend or a 2 little thing with 2 little legs, those are the key to your heart, okay? You need to get to know your customers' children and your customers' pets. Don't give a shit about the husband because they don't care about him either, or the spouse. They're not worried about him. You need to make sure that the kids and the pets are happy. And here's how we make them happy. You need to get to know the kids without being like super creepy about it. You need to get to know the kids. Like, what do they like to do? What are their hobbies? Do they like sports? What are they into? And then you can drop little things in your customers' orders for them. You can be out somewhere. Maybe you see a thing of sports stickers, a thing of hockey stickers, and you know that your customer son plays hockey. Well, you can cut a couple of those and stick a little note on it, to whatever his name is, and, pop them in the order. It's little things like that with building relationships that's going to be way more easier for you to contact your customer later down the line when we really need to talk to them. Something that so this is an example of what I do for my the kids for around the seasons. I just picked these up at the dollar store. It's $2. And all of the kids that I have going out orders this week, they're going to get a pencil with an eraser on it. Really means nothing to me. And it probably caught whatever that is, 8 divided by 2. I'm not good at 25 cents. You would never know that I homeschooled my daughter for the first half of this year. And what I do for people that have pets, I do these for the dogs, and it says a treat for my furry friend, and with some little dog bones in it. I just keep these in a bag in my vehicle. And then I do the same for the cats, a treat for my furry friend from Ashley. When you win customers over by getting to their kids and their pets, you will build a customer for life. Now, why am I telling you this? Why is this so important to care about these things in these people's lives? Is because do you ever hear the key, the fortune is in the follow-up, and follow-up is like, makes your business. Follow-up is probably one of the most difficult things for me because, believe it or not, I'm pretty an awkward person. I don't like to message people and just say, hey, how do you, or do you need, or do you need a refill? How is your order? That's difficult for me to do. But if I message them about their kids or their pets first, they're going to talk to me. And that's easier for me to bring it up in a conversation when it's already flowing. So it's super important to build genuine relationships with your customers so that for me, it makes my follow-up easier. And follow-up, I'm sure one of the other girls are going to talk about it because it is absolutely amazing. Like, you need to have it. Let me see what else. One last one. I just want to make sure that I didn't forget anything there. Be genuine and be yourself. Tell your story. People will relate to you. I know when I first started, I related to Carla in a weird way. I met Carla and asked her what, I think when I met Carla, she just was a normal person to me, right? She wasn't I don't mean anything by this, Carla. She wasn't anything special. She wasn't anything, she had jeans and a t-shirt on. She was just a regular person. She was like I was. And I knew that when I spoke with her, I could relate to her because she wasn't filled with fluff and all this other stuff that you get sometimes with other people that is not like me. but I connected with her that way. And I consider her a very good friend because of that. And we built that relationship because she was real with me. And I think that's what you need to do with your customers as well as your team. So the last one that I have is to set goals and boundaries for yourself in business. And why I feel this is so important is, you know, when we use Sensei's name and that little independent Sensei consultant follows it, do you guys know what that actually means? It means that no one's going to come and kick you in the ass and tell you that you're not doing your job. You need to have self-discipline. When you're in direct sales, you need to be self-motivated because it is super easy to find excuses unless you establish bigger goals for yourself. There should be no one else that is going to be a bigger competitor. Don't let anybody else be a bigger competitor to you than you. And challenge yourself daily. Set PRV goals monthly. And whatever you feel that you've reached for your monthly goal, I want you to add 500 to it. Push yourself way, way, way out of your comfort zone. And whenever you do that and you achieve that goal, I want you to reward yourself. And something that I've done was I made myself monthly goals, but I also made sure to reward myself for those monthly goals. And I want to show you what I bought last month. It has to be something that is absolutely, totally, completely ridiculous, that makes no sense at all. And nobody is allowed to question you on it because you set your own personal goals and you achieve those goals. Get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. I bought a microphone that's USB so that I can sing in my car. I have no idea why. It's absolutely pointless. It means nothing to me, but I thought it would be amazing to have. So I charge it here, and then when I go to do my deliveries, I have a rock concert, right? It has echo, like you can turn different modes on. That's what I got for hitting my goal. And my husband was like, what? And I was like, go set goals and go buy your own microphone.
Actually, we need a demonstration of this microphone, by the way.
Maybe later. Saturday night. Okay. So while setting goals, remember to set your boundaries. Make sure that you set some type of business or some type of business hours. There's absolutely no reason why you should be answering messages at 10 p.m. at night. And you know what? I know when you're laying in bed and somebody messages you, you're like, oh my God, I got to answer it because if I'm not, I'll lose a sale. I promise it's still going to be there in the morning. But it's important to set those boundaries so that you keep yourself sane and take care of you and family time. So the last thing that I want to leave you guys with today is I love to make people super uncomfortable. It's like my jam. I love it. I want to post in the Rockstar Academy group. I didn't tell you guys that I wanted to do this. I hope this is okay. So I want to make a post in the Rockstar Academy group called Friend Me. And in there, if you wish to participate, I want you to tell me one thing that you feel that you excel at in your business. And I know that everybody's going to say, well, I don't excel at anything. I'm not good at anything. Well, whatever, you are. Somebody's good at something. Whether it's making labels online, recruiting, if you're a really good motivator, are you really good in sales? Do you do good at lives? Are you good at staging photos, making samples? It doesn't have to be trainings. It doesn't be any of that stuff. Just share one thing that you're really good at. And then I want everybody else to go through and friend one person that you feel could help you in your business. Do not, and friend them. Be friends with them. We don't have a group? All right, let's use the chat. But do not, I don't want you guys to like make friends with somebody and be like, oh my God, my business sucks. I don't have any sales. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm so horrible at life. And don't be like that, please. Don't be like, right? We're going to do good and we're going to do together. And the point is when you have somebody to bounce ideas off of, to work with each other, it's so much better. It's so much better. So I think that's all. I know I'm definitely forgetting something. How am I for time, just for shits and gigs, to see where I'm at? Does anybody have any questions for me? You know what really makes me nervous? Like I said, I didn't talk to any of the other girls about this. So their 3 points could be totally, completely, like I might not even be in the same ballpark as these other 5 girls. Like I might be in on like a swing set somewhere, and they're being cool hanging out in the skate park. So
I think we're all completely different now, and that's what makes it good, because there is no right or wrong way. Everyone's got a different way.
Until you guys start.
I loved it.
Seriously, we've got to follow you after that.
Remember what I said. You need to be enthusiastic, because enthusiastic is contagious. And you know what? I'm going to end this video and my whole body is going to go, oh, like I'm just going to be a blob.
Love it.
Okay, right.
Yeah, you guys are like, she's crazy.
No, we're not. Seriously, Ashley, I couldn't love you anymore. Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Okay. Next we have, just find her, Vicky Nifton. She's never done this before, and she's super nervous, and I literally gave her about an hour's notice. So please show her some love.
Hi.
Let me spotlight you.
I know. God. Oh.
It's so much worse that way, isn't it?
Oh my God. Hello. Oh, I'm so nervous. So nervous. I'll come out in a rash in a minute. Like my full face will be like a full-on rash. But yeah, thank you. And God, following Ashley, I'm like, but yeah, I'll give you a bit of a backstory. For those who don't already know, I'm Vicky Nifton. I'm from Hull in Yorkshire, a little city. I think it's little. Compared to others, it's little. And I've been with Sensei for 3 years. So I'm going to give you my top tips, but I'm going to do it with a bit of my story in there as well. Just because. So I'll just crack on. So I joined Sensei 3 years ago, and when I joined, my life was so ridiculously different to what it is now. I was about 3 months pregnant. I had a 2-year-old son. I worked, and we was renovating a really old house that needed like literally tearing down and rebuilding. There was so much work to do, and my husband was also on long-term sick, recovering from lung cancer. So my life was just crazy, and on like the time I literally did not have enough hours in the day to even like manage everything that was already going on in my life. I really just didn't have the time for anything extra, because I could barely cope with what I had going on. But when my sponsor Joanna, when she offered the opportunity to me, I just literally could not turn it down. Like I just had this burning desire inside of me to jump on board with this thing. I'd never done anything like it before, and I just had to be a part of it. So despite everything that was going on, I thought, right, yeah, I'll do it. So I joined, and it was like, God, what am I doing? And my husband was like, are you crazy? Like, you really don't have the time for this. And it, like, literally, it was all real mental, but it literally took me about a month or maybe 2 months to realise that I was actually onto something really special. And that I was onto something that could literally change our lives. So that's when it kind of clicked that I needed to make time and not excuses. I needed to put all the, and oh God, trust me, I had like a million excuses that I could have used, but I needed to put all that to a side and just go for it. I needed to create the time that I needed to make this business work. I needed to do all the things that I didn't want to do. So that's my first tip, is don't make excuses. Don't ignore any excuses that you might have. excuses, like literally you can either make time, make things happen, make things work, or you can make excuses. It's up to you, but it's only going to go one way, whichever way you decide to go with. And you've got to do all the things that you don't want to do, like literally all the things, like Tam said, she's given me a few hours notice for this tonight, and I really didn't want to do it, but I want to grow, and I want to be able to do these trainings for my team. I want to be the best SSD that I can be, and by doing things like this, I could have said, oh no, I'm busy tonight, Tam, I've already got plans. But I mean, it's lockdown, like, course I ain't got plans. But I could have easily made an excuse and said, oh no, I can't do it. But I didn't. I was like, oh no, I don't know. Then I was like, yeah, I'll just do it, because I want to grow, and that's where you just cannot make these excuses. Did you paint the lot? No, I didn't do that. I bought it off the internet. So you've got to do all the things you don't want to do. So another thing that I once did is when I was I'd been a consultant about 6 months. I'd never gone live before. I was always super shy and super nervous. And Joanna, my sponsor, she set a team challenge to go live in like our team group. And it was like, oh my God. But I thought, no, I can't back away from this. It's something I need to learn to do. So I washed my hair, I put some face on, and I went live. But during that live, I was actually in labour, having my second son that I was like 3 months pregnant with when I joined Sensi. And I went live while I was in labour. I wasn't like in labour, like screaming and pushing and all that kind of labour, but I was in labour, like I was getting contractions. And I went live and I thought, I ain't using being in labour as an excuse not to do it. Like, I need to do this because I need to push my comfort zone. You need to do all these things that you don't want to do to be able to grow. So I kid you not, I was in labour, and if Joanna's here, she'll vouch for me, but I was in labour and I went on live in our team group and did like my 10-minute live or whatever it was that we had to do. And obviously not long after that, I gave birth to my second son. And in that month that I had him, I promoted to a star consultant. I recruited 4 people and I did around 1,500 PRV. And he was born on the 13th of the month. So it's not like I did all that first and then had the baby at the end of the month. He was born on the 13th. So I did all that while I just had a baby. And the reason why I did that is, which moves me on to my next tip, is you've got to, like what Ashley said, you've got to set your goals, but then you've got to just believe that everything is possible. You've got to completely believe that anything is possible. I set a goal to come, that I didn't want to return to work. The job I was in when I joined Sensi, I hated it. Absolutely hated it. And my goal was that I didn't want to return to work after having Frankie. I wanted to be able to leave work and work this business from home and look after my kids and be there and all the rest of it. And I wanted to change our lives. So the reason I didn't use my excuses of, oh, well, I've just had a baby and I'm quite sore, like it keeps me up all night or anything like that. The reason I didn't use these excuses was because I had a goal and I believed in myself and I believed that I was going to make this happen. And yeah, before I went back to work, I promoted to director in the February. I was due back at work in the March. So I was able to hand my notice in the March. And that was my first major goal that I set. When I saw what I was onto with this business, that's when I realised, right, you need to set a goal and work for it. And that's exactly what I did. And I did not let these excuses get in the way. I set my goal and I believed in myself and I believed that anything can happen. And it happened. So I never returned to work after having him, which was amazing. So now I'm here all the time, like, and I have been since he's never known me work. I've always just been here. So you've just really got to set the solid goals and then just believe in yourself. But it's not always easy. Like I don't know if I've made that sound easy, but it sounds easy to me, but it's not always easy. So I promoted to director in the February, and then I kind of just like sailed on through for a full year. So I was like consistently getting my numbers. I was consistently recruiting. I was being paid at title for a full year. And then it got to February 2020 and it all just kind of came crashing down. And in February and March of 2020, I didn't get paid at title. I didn't get paid at director. I didn't make my director numbers. I wasn't recruiting anybody. It was a bit of a shambles, to be honest. I'd been a director, a good director, a strong director for a year. And then something just happened and I don't know what it was. So in February, I actually had my appendix removed. I got appendicitis real suddenly at the end of February and went into hospital and had to have it removed. And I remember not long afterwards, I'd been on the phone with Tam and then I came off the phone and I thought, and I very nearly let myself blame the fact that I'd had appendicitis, why I wasn't meeting my figures. But then I thought, no, God, I had doing that because I'm not an excusey person anyway. I never have been. I kind of just deal with what hand I'm dealt. And I kind of just like, you know, deal with it and move on. Like I've never really made excuses. But yeah, something was just had to be missing. Like, and I had to look at me. I didn't have to look at the fact that I'd been in hospital. I'd had my appendix out. I didn't need to look for anybody to blame. I had to look at myself and what was missing from me. So I did a little bit of soul searching and all the rest of it. And I kind of give myself like a good talking to. And I thought, I know what it is. I haven't got a set goal. I ain't got anything that I really want to work, you know, like that I've got in my mind what I'm going to achieve. Of course I want to like reach SSD one day, but I didn't have that set in stone. I didn't have that goal set in stone. So I remember I sent a message to Tam after these rubbish few months and I was like, I'm going to be an SSD by the end of this year. And that was it. I got to work and it was honestly, I did it in October. So this was like the beginning of April, I set the goal and I said, right, this is it. I'm going to be SSD by the end of this year. And I achieved SSD in October. So it really does pay off to set these goals, like scrap the excuses and just believe that anything can happen. And also do all the things that you don't want to do like this because it's good for you. But the other thing as well, like my third tip would be, and I think everybody will say this, is consistency. Like everything I did and everything I've been through, like going back to that other August when I had the baby, the reason I was able to promote and the reason I was able to get good PRV and promote and recruit for people was because I was still consistently working my business. And that is so important. Like that consistency is just so important. So but it's got to be like across the board. If you want your business as a whole to grow, your consistency has got to be across the board. It's got to be with your sales, you know, your customer group, your pages, your Instagram, like absolutely everything across the board. You're recruiting, you're joining conversations. It's all got to be consistent. And that is why I think when I clicked in my head, right, I need to set a solid goal. And I had that click in my head and I believed it was going to happen. And then like the consistency, that helped that happen as well. Because it is so important. So yes, I think that's it. I hope that was all right. But yes, so no excuses, be consistent and set them goals and just believe in everything. Yeah, so thanks, Tam.
That was amazing.
You won, Cheryl.
It was! Seriously, you made me well up. Thank you so much.
That's all right.
Your story is extremely inspiring. She smashed it, didn't she, guys?
Thank you.
So much inspiration from your story. Right, okay, next we've got Lisa. Where are you?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
You
Thank
see me?
you very much. Let me spotlight you.
What's up? Oh, hi.
You're up.
Vicky, that was amazing. I loved hearing that. I don't think that's the first time I've heard your story, or some of it. Can't think. I loved it. It was really, really inspirational. I was like, oh my God. Makes me think of all the times where I've gone, I can't do that because, and now I'm like going to have to rethink every excuse I ever make. But that's the whole point of this, isn't it? Okay, so if for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Lisa Allwood and I'm the Superstar Director of the Teams Scent Squad. I couldn't think what we were called them for a minute. God, my brain is literally like mush. Okay, so I'm going to give you some of my top tips and hopefully, I think so far we've all done really well to make sure our tips are all quite different, which is really good. But I said, even if they cross over, we've all got such a different take on them. So, okay, my first tip is going to come into sponsoring a little bit. I love sponsoring. So everything, I love to find new teamies. It literally is like, gives me fire. I'm always looking for a new teamie. So literally that is the tip. It's looking at every single customer that you meet in your business as a potential teamie. I don't see any of my customers as customers. I do in terms of that I give them that amazing customer service, but I look at them and think, right, how can, when that person first comes into my customer group, or when that person first messages me to say, oh, Lisa, I'd really like to try your borrow bag, or can I book a party? That doesn't happen very often. They don't ask that. I have to ask them. Or maybe, for example, they want that one wax bar to start with. I always think, right, how can I turn that one wax bar into a recruit? And I am going to talk about an example where I actually did it last month. So somebody come to me that had bought from me quite a while ago, and I've kept it. She's in my customer group, and her name's Rachel. I don't know if she's watching tonight. She may well be. And she came to me last month and she said to me, Lisa, I'd really like to buy a vanilla bean buttercream bar. And I was like, well, you just want one bar? And she was like, yeah, just one bar. And I did try to upsell. And we got chatting, and by the end of the conversation, she agreed to join on the host join kit. She did agree to join on the host join kit. But it literally was by me just dropping it into conversation and asking. And I do this with like every single customer. I'm prospecting the whole, is it called prospecting? Yeah. I think it's called prospecting. The whole time I'm looking at people thinking, okay, they're buying at the moment. Yes, they're buying lots. I'm looking at how much they're buying. And I'm thinking one day they will turn into the teamie, because I'm just going to keep asking them. I'm going to keep sowing the seed. I'm going to keep dropping it into conversation. I'm going to let them know about offers that I've got on to join my team. If I ever use the host join kit, like obviously they're always going to be on that message. So eventually I think when I look back at most of my customers, you know, 80% of my frontline, I think I've said this on a recruitment training before, but 80% of my frontline started off as customers. So for me, I'm always looking at my customers as potential teamies and always having that dream team list. So everywhere I go, even when I go to like the local, Rachel is watching, there you go. Rachel is watching and it worked and she's got her hands up. So even when I go to my local co-op and I'm literally buying milk and bread and all of that, I'm looking at people like that actually have that golden customer service, that have got that buzz, that have got that pizzazz. And I think I'm going to spark a conversation with them and I'm going to get Sensi dropped in there somewhere. And eventually they're going to become a customer. And eventually I'm going to build a relationship with them and they're going to become a teammate, because that's generally how I work my business. And that's how I work when I'm looking for new teamies. It's that relationship building that Ashley touched on, getting to know those customers enough that eventually they say, yes, I'm going to join. I'm in there. I'm coming. I'm going to join. What did you say? I love that word, pizzazz. So definitely it's building those relationships with those people that could eventually become teamies, making sure, and Ashley touched on that, like making sure you know your customers. You need to know them really, really well. And that's going to lead me into my like tip number 2. So tip number 2 is that is going to link to that little recruiting thing where you're literally prospecting everybody, you're thinking everybody as your joiners, is to not feel uncomfortable or icky about that big word follow-up. Okay, even I feel it. I don't have, this might come as a shock to some people that know me, it won't come as a shock to. I don't have a follow-up system. Okay, I do not have a follow-up system. And I'm going to say it again, I do not have a follow-up system. I'm not proud of it, but I tell you why. I don't have a follow-up system because I am constantly, where I'm building those relationships with my customers, I message them all the time. I message them as soon as they get an order. I message them when their order's shipped. It's just a natural thing to have that like constant, the messages that are going back and forth. I had one of my customers this week actually message me and she sent me a picture of a dog that looks like my Dexter with his hair in like bunches. And she said, oh my God, this picture reminded me of Dexter. And because we'd built that relationship, when I message her to say, oh, hey, Lorraine, do you want any more wax? Obviously, I'm sort of actually thinking I'd love Lorraine to join, or her daughter to join, prospecting all the time. But when I message her and say, oh, hey, Lorraine, did you need any more wax? If she says no, I don't ever feel uncomfortable about that, because we've got a relationship. There's some kind of relationship there where it never makes me feel uncomfortable to say to her, do you need more wax? Do you need a top up? Have you got any birthdays coming up? Is there anything you need from me? And we can have that conversation without feeling uncomfortable, because I've got a relationship with her. And I think all of these tips sort of come back to that same thing. They come back to these same core principles every single time, that, you know, prospect your customers like they're going to be teamies, so that you build that relationship with them. And then straight away, when you're actually following up with people, it becomes natural. It doesn't become like I'm having to send them some spammy message that's saying, oh, hello, I'm just about to put an, you know, like, I'm not sending out this same blanket message that's going to every person. I tried my very best to use Amy, and I've got to be honest, I think it's brilliant. But I found for me it was too robotic, in that every single one of my customers will get, and it might take me longer, but every single one of my customers will get a personal message, because I'm asking, like, how are you doing? Like, how have you got over? I mean, COVID's like rife around here at the minute, and I can probably count 10 of my very best customers that have had it. So that, for example, is that's our conversation point right now. I'm not asking them if they need wax. I'm literally messaging them like, how are you feeling? Do you need anything? Like, when I'm out doing my deliveries, can I drop off? Do you need milk? Do you need bread? I'm having those relationships with them. So that is what I call a follow-up. A real follow-up isn't actually necessarily about, you know, following up with people and saying, do you need wax? Do you need warmers? Do you need body mist? Do you need a Sensi Go or pods? It's actually having real relationship conversations that I then lead into, actually, Lise, I've been meaning to grab 3 bars of wax off you, or could you order me the scent of the month? Because they're the actual conversations that make me. Last night I sat and I looked and I was like, I need to get some sales. So I did some of my follow-ups, or my customer building those connections, if you like. I don't even call them a follow-up. I call them more connections with people. And straight away, I generated, like, I think 200 quid's worth of sales from literally just messaging backwards and forwards and just chatting with people and asking them, like, how they're feeling, you know, have they got over COVID, you know, all things that I've seen on their social media. And that is one of my big things. Like, all of my customers are I'm friends with them on Facebook. I choose to do that because, for me, I have got a little feed set up. If you don't know, you can do it. It's really clever on Facebook. You can set up a timeline that is specifically for set individuals. So you can go into friends list and you can create a list which has got just your customers in it. So, for example, when I want to follow up with my customers, I click on my friends list, and what that allows me to do is all of their most recent posts will come up in one successive timeline. And it makes it really easy to then follow up with my best customers, because I can actually see the ones that post on social media, what they've been doing. I can look at that and go, oh, okay, Mandy's walked the dogs today. So I might message her and say, hey, Mand, I've just seen a picture of your 2 dogs. Oh my God, they look so cute in the snow. Straight away, I haven't asked her whether she wants wax. I haven't asked her anything at all. I think I've done a live on it somewhere, Kerry. I'll try and upload it to YouTube. Kerry's just asked about how to do it. It's really straightforward, honestly. You just go to friends list, and I think you do create list, but you need to do it on a PC. But it makes following up really simple, and it means that you can actually have genuine conversations. It shouldn't need to feel uncomfortable. I think my biggest thing to people is, if following up feels uncomfortable, you're doing it wrong. It means that you're sort of a bit too Spamela Pamela, as opposed to, you know, real relationship building conversations. So that's that little tip. And that probably leads me on to the next one. So actually that links quite well. I didn't do that on purpose. I'm not gonna lie. So my tip number 3 is not to just rely on social media. Now, I know I've just talked about that great friends list that you can create that gives you that, you know, that timeline, but I also have quite a good handful, like a good load of customers that are not actually on Facebook. So they're not seeing my customer group. They're not seeing my personal Facebook. They're not seeing Instagram. They're not seeing my stories. So you've got to make sure you're providing for those people that are not on social media. So one of my big things is definitely about messaging. Now, I actually make sure that I look at my business like this. Could you still run your business if tomorrow Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, God forbid, but say they all shut down and there was no such thing as Facebook, Messenger or Instagram, any of those, how would you be able to run your business? If the answer is no, then you need to look at something that you're doing and be like, right, I need to change what I'm doing. I can contact every single one of my customers because I've got every single one of them's mobile numbers. Maybe there's a small handful that I message on Messenger, but I very rarely message on Messenger. So if your messages are all reliant on Facebook Messenger, consider that one day Facebook may just disappear. Think about MySpace. I used MySpace. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I met my husband, sort of. We used a lot of MySpace when we were very young. But MySpace was massive, right? It was a big platform that was one of the first social media platforms. And all of a sudden one day, MySpace had just sort of fizzled out and disappeared. I really miss that whole, like, being able to put music on your profile. Do you remember that? Do you remember, like, you'd log into someone's profile and it'd be like, play a song? But anyway, MySpace disappeared. Okay. Now, that's not to say that there's going to be the next best social media that's going to come along that everybody's going to join. But let's just say, for example, the internet goes down in the world for, like, God forbid, for a few days. We've still got to be able to run our business. And if you can't run your business, then you've really got to look at making sure that you're not on social media all the time. If you then go, I love the fact that, Tam, if you really just said that you don't know what MySpace is, oh my God, you're making me feel really old. Please tell me I'm not the only one that knows what MySpace is.
I have no idea what MySpace. Well, I know what MySpace is, but I did not have a
You
MySpace
didn't use it?
account.
Oh, it's making me feel really old.
I was like ICQ. Actually, I was in the kitchen yesterday. I was going, oh, and Neil's like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing.
I loved MySpace. It was like the thing. But so, for example, when that just disappeared, it was like, obviously Facebook become the new thing. And I remember saying to my friends, oh, I'm trying this thing called Facebook. And they were like, Facebook? What's that? And I think back to now and I think, God, what if my business had been on MySpace and none of my friends were on Facebook? I was like definitely one of my first friends on Facebook. So you've really got to think about making sure that you're catering for everybody, especially as well. We all get those teamies that say, I'm not on social media. I mean, you're like, you what? And they go, I'm not on social media. You're what? You've got to be able to sort of work on every single platform. You've got to sort of be not just relying on that social media, looking at email, looking at text, you know, finding other ways that you can actually reach out to your customers and making sure they still know what your specials are. They still know that there's a new catalogue, that they still know that there's amazing new warmers and new wax that's just landed. And you need to find ways of doing that, because I promise you, when you start doing that, I put up sometimes some of the prettiest pictures and it literally is like tumbleweed, not even one like. And I'm like, oh, that went down like a lead balloon. I thought that was going to be like, have like 20 likes on it or 20 comments. And then people will say, I get no sales, like I get no comments, I'm getting no interaction on social media. Fine, if it doesn't work, you need to be off social media. Find a way to also make sure that your customers. So for me, if you're in the UK, I use WhatsApp broadcast. I absolutely love it. And ever since I've set that up, it's brilliant because it's one-to-one. I think there's a similar text messaging thing in Canada and the US. I'm not entirely sure. I know we did talk about it before, but it basically is like, it's like sending a one-to-one message out to like mass people. So that is the only time when I get a bit spammer, I suppose. Like today, I sent out Mixology 2 wax bars and just showed that, what about these? These are absolutely amazing. Actually, I stole it from Laura Sawkins, who's going to be talking soon. And I sold two lots of that straight off the back of it that went out to my WhatsApp broadcast. So, but again, it was off social media. I didn't even put that on my customer group. So you need to have like multiple platforms. And that is like a massive, massive thing for me. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking because I could literally talk all night. I'll pass you over. Here's next time.
Woohoo! Love that. Loved it. Thank you so much. Right, okay, we have got Carla next. Let me find her and spotlight you. I love this spotlight thing. You're up.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so my name is Carla Hunter. I am a superstar director in Alberta, Canada. So I've written down a couple tips, but Laura or Lisa just talked about follow-up. So I had to quickly switch my list up. So I'm winging my follow-up because she talks so well about follow-up, and I don't feel like I need to say the same thing because her tips are exactly the same as mine. But my very first tip for you guys would be to gain a contact from a contact. gain a contact from a customer. And it's just the way that I sort of worked my business for a very long time, because I am the type of person who is more shy. I'm reserved. I'm not that personality that people gravitate to. So I always had to think of ways. So I always had to make excuses or think of ways to get people into my business without me being pushy. And one of them is by gaining a contact from a customer. So any single time that you have a customer come to you, you should constantly be thinking that they know people that you don't know. And it's just, you need to think of ways to get their contacts that they know. And just for example, you could do a referral program. So I used to live in northern part of Alberta. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I had moved away 5 hours away to a new town. And for about a year and a half, I didn't really work the town I was in. I was just maintaining some of the customers that I had. And then over time, because I'm so far away, I started losing my customer base. And within a year and a half, I was kind of dwindling down, and I started noticing that my name wasn't getting tagged in the groups in the area. And so that kind of annoyed me a little bit. And I was just like, why aren't I getting tagged? Like, this doesn't make sense. People should know who I am. But they didn't, because I wasn't really promoting myself I wasn't really doing the work I needed to do within the town to gain, to be noticed, kind of deal. And so when I moved here, a year and a half later, I started a referral program. So if you decide to create a referral program, keep in mind that do it within your budget, but it could be like 5% off your next order, 10% off your next order, a couple dollars or pounds off your next order. But here's one thing that I do, just to give you some is you don't want to give more than you're getting in commission. So keep that in the back of your mind when you are getting referrals. And so for me, something that I always do is always make sure I remind my customers that I do have a referral program, because they easily forget. And if you don't remind them, they're not going to refer. So it's something that you always have to continue to say over and over and over, so they remember to refer people to you. Now, if that referral resulted in a sale, then that person who referred, which is my regular customer, she would get dollars off of her next order based on the commission I got. So let's just say it was $100 order, I would get paid that's $25. I'm not going to give her more than half of that, which is $12.50 or so, right? So that means I would give probably her a free bar and maybe some samples or whatever. But if my commission was only, say, $10, I'm not going to give her a free bar for $10, because our bars cost $8. So why would I give her more than 50% of my commission? So I always make sure I never give more than 50% of my commission in any type of product or return, like any discounts or anything like that. So I always keep that in mind. So anyways, so a referral program for me helped me build my business. I love referrals, and you want to just keep in mind that you need to work hard on getting a contact from a contact. And another thing that you can say is, anytime that you have a customer come to you and orders from you, you can say, do you have a friend that would like to add on to your order? And that's easy to say, and immediately you've just doubled your order by just one person. And a lot of times their friends will order. So now that you don't have to always think to yourself, I have to build an entire customer base. How am I going to do that? How am I going to build my whole customer base by myself? I have to meet every single person for them to become a customer of mine. No, you don't think of it like that. Your current customer, you can start off with using your current customers that you have. Your current customer has somebody that can order as well. And once they're in your business, then you would keep them in your business, obviously, by the follow-up and by doing kind of the things that Lisa had spoke about before. Then my next tip, I should open up the chat maybe to see if there was some questions about that.
I just had somebody message me and I just wrote them back and I said, but does your sister have anything to add to your order? I'll let you know how it goes.
Is this the first time you're doing that, Ashley? Like you've never done it before?
Yes, I do it all the time.
Oh, no. Yeah, right. Sure.
Oh, wait, she's writing back. She's writing back.
You're funny.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so my next tip, number 2, would be do something really well. I have, since the very beginning of my business, I knew there was a whole lot of things that we could be doing. You want to do samples, you want to do borrow bags, you want to do up a join brochure, you want to do VIP boxes, you want to do online parties, you want to do home parties, like you want to create all these things, but you just have no time, or not even just time. It's just a lot of ideas that run through your head and then you end up doing none of them. So start with what you actually want to be really, really good at. And let's just say maybe right now, at the time that we are in right now, online parties are huge right now. So maybe it's online parties. So what should you do? You should probably work on doing online parties really great for the next 3 months. If you start doing online parties and your first one doesn't do very well, then you go back and rework it, put something else different in there, and do it again. So you're going to keep changing it up until you're very, very happy with it. And when you're happy with something that you've done really, really well, then you can train on it. And when you can train on it, that means you're very confident. And when you become confident, you feel accomplished. And when you feel accomplished, you feel successful. And so just make sure that you are just doing one thing at a time, but doing it so you become really, really great at it. And that just means you need to fail and do it again, and do it over again until you don't fail, obviously. Number 3 is stop looking at other people's businesses. Stop comparing yourself to other consultants. For me, I suffer with anxiety. I don't like being around people, which most of you probably already know. I don't like being in groups. I'm not very good at talking. I stutter a lot. While I'm talking to you right now, I'm thinking in my head about what my hair looks like and, you know, the lighting in the room. And like, that's just the person I am. Like, I'm constantly telling myself in my head that I'm not good enough, or someone can create, I'm not creative, so someone can create things better than I can. It takes me 4 days to create a postcard when somebody can whip that up in 20 minutes. Like, I absolutely am not creative whatsoever, and it takes so much effort out of my days, out of my weeks, out of my months just to create something really great. Like, it makes me upset sometimes of how long it takes me to create things. Whereas I can look at somebody else and someone created this, like this stupid thing in front of me. I'll just see. Like, even just something super stupid and simple like this, someone created that. Something that I can't do. And so why would I compare myself to that? When, even though those are the things that I'm not good at, I am really good at other things. And so those things are what got me to where I am today. Creating things isn't how I got to where I am today. And so you don't have to be that bubbly personality. You don't have to have all this creative stuff. You don't have to wish to be somebody else to be successful, I guess is kind of what I'm trying to say. Just be who you are, think of different ways. If something doesn't work for you, but it works for somebody else, then you have to rework it until it works for you. It doesn't work for me to try and be friends with 50 customers because I don't want to be friends with 50 customers. Why is that? It's because my brain can only be friends with a handful of people at one time. And that's tough for people like me as well, is that I'm in this business for business and I treat it like a business. I can't personally treat my business friendly all the time. I like having friends and I like chatting with everybody, like the people that I chat with every day. I really like that. But I can't be friends with 50 people at a time because that stresses me out. And it's, I like to sit alone in a corner. That's kind of who I am. But what I'm trying to say is just be good at being you, like who you are. Don't wish that you were somebody else. If you're not good at making things, then be okay with that and start doing things that you want to be good at. So sit down, do a little brain dump, think of things that you want to do, not things that you wish you can do better. Do things that you actually want to do, not that you wish, because I can sit here and wish to create something all day long, but yet at the end of the day, I can sit at my desk for 8 hours and stress over what font to use. Like a font could take me 8 hours to figure out because I am so indecisive and have anxiety over that. It's so stupid. Anyway, those are my tips. Getting a contact from a contact, do something really, really, really well and do it for 3 months until you're really, really good. And stop looking at everybody else's business and comparing yourself to that, because you can do better things that they are not good at. Because everybody wishes that they were organized like me, but at the end of the day, they're not going to be organized. Right, Tam? Right, Ashley? But yet, I can wish I can make things like Tam makes beautiful postcards. And I'd be like, I hate you today because you just whipped that up in 5 minutes. Whereas, yeah, I have a VIP boxes sitting on my chair in there. I'm making my kids do it because it's going to take me 2 months to figure out. And all that's in it is samples. Anyway, yeah, that's all. Those are my three tips.
See, you know, like everything you say, I hang off. Like I regurgitate so much stuff that you've said to me. So you don't think that you're great at these things, but to me and so many others, like you're like the hugest inspiration. Okay, right, my turn. I shall try and run through these as quick as possible. That was amazing, Carla. Thank you.
You need to say that you highlight yourself just to make it official.
I have done, I think. Yeah.
I know you have, but you need to say it just to make it official.
Okay. Sorry.
Did that customer order, Ashley?
Yeah, did the customer order? Ashley?
Not at this time.
Oh. Yeah, but at least you asked.
Exactly.
But you know what? She was gonna pay me $15 for 3 bulbs, and I was like, no. She's like, you have the total wrong. I'm like, no, they're only $8. But if you want to send me 15, go for it. So I mean, I kind of got something out of it. Yeah. Anyways, carry on.
Okay, so mine are. My first one is. I'm Tam, Superstar Director of Team Diamond Spirit. My first one is, and I've written notes, so I do apologise, is never stop treating your business like you're brand new. This is something I I picked it up off another training. I think it was Laura Godwin. I picked it up off last year and it really resonated with me. And it really sort of made me reevaluate how I ran my business. That new excitement when you're brand new and you first join and you do all those things. You wanted to tell everybody that you're a consultant and you wanted to get, make amazing new things and create amazing, exciting posts. Don't ever stop doing that. I see it so many times where somebody starts, they're absolutely amazing and they get the results that they deserve because they're doing all these amazing things, but then they stop and then so do the results. But it's because they stopped doing what those amazing, like those awesome things that they did when they start, that new excitement. literally don't ever stop treating your business like you're brand new. Wake up every day like you're an essential consultant. Never ever stop growing. That is like, I cannot possibly stress that enough. It's something I do say a lot, but it's because it really, really, really means a lot. So every single month I go for Sensational Start Level 3. Every month my goal is to get 2 teamies, get them active, and get 3,000 PRV. That is my goal every month. Not only does that get me Sensational Start Level 3 as if I was a brand new consultant, it also gets me Star Consultant. If I was a brand new consultant, I would finish the month as a Star Consultant. And to me, like, building that, that's the kind of growth, that's what I want, that's how I want my business to grow. That's the growth I want to see within my business. So you make a scalable goal for you that you want to see. For example, if it's shooting star, or if it's you want to reduce the certified promotion every single month, then go for it. Just every single month, we all start at 0. Every single one of us, our figures all go right back down to 0. Just start from the beginning and go for it, and never stop that excitement. Continue to grow in yourself, continue to grow in your network, continue to do all these things that you did when you were brand new, and just never ever stop. And that leads me to my tip number 2, which is keeping it simple. Do not overcomplicate what it takes to succeed. It really isn't complicated. It's hard work, but it's not complicated. Don't ever stop doing those simple things that get you the results that you want. The borrow bags, the things that obviously we do, borrow bags, online parties, chatting to people, following up with customers, making samples, all those things, they all see results. You don't ever stop doing those simple things. Focus on the outstanding customer service, sharing the products, and using the tools that are already available. Like Carla's saying, obviously she was saying about spending days and days and days trying to create something. If it's already there for you, just use it. Don't try and remake it yourself. If there's a beautiful marketing image there that's available for you, then don't try and remake it yourself. Just use what you've got and keep it simple. Like I think people totally underestimate the resources we've got on the workstation. I know I do 100%. I was literally I was chatting to Heidi yesterday, and I was looking through the trainings on the workstation. There's so much stuff there, absolute bucket loads of training, of PDF files, of breakdowns of steps to get results and success. Literally, it's all there. We don't have to recreate new things all the time. You can just find something that works for you and just keep doing it, and just do it again and again. Like the other ladies have said about being consistent, just do the same things. Using what's already available to us. So host rewards, use them to make your business work. They're such a great tool. Use them to grow your business. The bundles and saves, use them. You don't have to create, if you're not creative, you don't have to create amazing new things. I know some people are incredibly creative at creating great offers, boxes, bags, all sorts of different things. I'm not. It's not something I use in my business. I don't have amazing ideas. If I have an idea of something like a clean bag, it's usually something I've nicked off Lisa or somebody else. It's not something that I've come up with myself. But you don't have to have all these fantastic ideas. You can use the tools that we've already got. The scent of the month, LTOs. Obviously, we've got a constant stream of LTOs, which are just amazing tools for you to use, and you don't have to overcomplicate what it takes to succeed. And then my third tip, I am motoring through, I'm doing pretty well, and this is a long one though, and it's really hard to get this down to 3 tips, but this was one that I'm kind of going to expand on a little bit, which is show up to your business. Show up. I was watching a training, and the lady said, who was doing the training, she said, I see people with a day job, and they go in, they clock in, they do their job, and they clock off, but they don't clock into their Scentsy business, yet they expect results. They expect to get paid when they're never clocking in. You have to show up. You have to show up to trainings. You have to show up to actually work in your business. Your business will work, 100% will work, but it'll only work if you do. It's not down to your sponsor. It is not down to your director. It's not down to your friends. It's not down to anyone else. It's down to you. The results that you can get from your business is entirely down to you and what you are willing to do. All the tools are there. We've all got the exact same tools. It's just down to you whether you take it. It can completely change your life. Like, we know that. We've seen, if you've not experienced it, maybe you've, like, regardless of results, but friendship, the sense of being good at something, like the recognition you get from Scentsy, all these things are absolutely life-changing, completely life-changing. But that isn't down to somebody else to give you. That's down to you to go and find and do all those things. And use those endless resources that we've got available to us. Like, it's not down to anyone else to put them there for you. It's down for you to go and find them. Like, the tools are there. It's just up to you whether you use them or not. And being intentional with what you do. So like Carla said, Carla's tip, she mentioned it earlier, and it literally, like, I was massively overcomplicating what it was an absolute light bulb moment for me when Carla said, get a contact out of every contact. Like, I was all like, right, every single person I know, they've all got like a ton of people that I don't know. If I can work with them to try and get them to bring those people into my business, then that's going to see my business grow. But Carla said, just get a contact from every contact. So if you just work, like, intentionally work with finding one person from each person you know, like, imagine, or each person, like each customer, imagine the growth that your business will have. It was just like a complete light bulb. I was like, wow, that is so simple. And if I'm just completely intentional about that, then I would see far more results than I do. I'm very, very, very focused on growing my network. It's from Amazon, by the way. It's just a toy. It's literally just a toy. I'm very, very, very focused on growing my network. But I just think that simple, the way Carla put it, I thought, oh my God, that was like total light bulb gone off in my head. And being intentional with what we do, like, and when I say intentional, I mean everything. Like, we don't just sell a product. You're not just like, I'm a Sense consultant, I sell Scentsy. There we go, done. You're selling an experience. You're selling a home fragrance experience. Be intentional with that, not just, here's your wax bars, here's your warmer. You are selling them an absolute incredible home fragrance experience. Don't just give somebody a sample so you can say, yeah, I give samples. Yeah, I did a sample. Give them a sample of Bora Bora Blossom because they're convinced that they only love clean scents. So you just say, right, I'm going to give you this sample because I really would love you just to try this different scent. Or give them, like what Ashley was saying, give them some samples of some pet products because you know they've got a dog. Like, actually intentionally sample. Don't just ask someone to join so you can say, yeah, I've asked them to join. Ask them to join so you can, because you think that Scentsy, you feel that Scentsy would be a really good fit for them, or you're really passionate about the opportunity, about the business, about, like, you're all in with the company and you're really super passionate about it. It's not just asking, do you want to join Scentsy? It's so much more than that, and being intentional with that. What else did I have? Could really benefit. Don't just advertise products. Like, I always use the clothesline bar. Like, don't just say, here's a bar of clothesline, smells of clean washing. Say, you know, don't intentionally share the products. Why do people need them? This bar, I've just put a cube of clothesline in my warmer and my whole house smells absolutely incredible, of like literally like my mum's washing, or bring a memory into it, you know, something that actually means something to you, or it reminds you of this, or it reminds you of that. Share, don't sell. Massively share, don't sell the products. It's about, like, why do they need it? Why do they need that product? Why would they join Scentsy? What reason would it, like, what problem would it solve? Perhaps there is a problem that you tried every single product on the market to clean your cooker and nothing was working, and then you use Scentsy Counter Clean or Scentsy Wash Up Liquid and it was absolutely, like, you're blown away with the results. Share the problem, share the solution. You've got the solution. People relate to that rather than just sharing the product as itself. And yeah, I think that's me. I think I've done it in less than 15 minutes. Buzzing. Right. Let's find Laura. So yeah, my tips, just to recap, never stop treating like business like a new business. That has seen consistent growth, like go for lead consultant every month or whatever it is you want to do. Just go for it, redoing that promotion every month. Keep it simple and show up. Right, let me find you. Where are you? There she is. Unmute. You need to unmute yourself, Laura.
Hello.
You're spotlighted. Go.
Hi. Right, okay, so firstly, thank you for asking to do these. Secondly, I did make notes, but look, I've scribbled all over them because loads of my tips have already been said, but that is fine. Like, literally, I am surrounded by greatness, and how amazing that, like, obviously we're all so unique and individual, but obviously there's a lot of things that, like Tam said, you know, this business is simple, like we're not reinventing the wheel. So clearly there's a lot of things that overlap, but I think I found 3 different things I can talk about. So firstly, I'm Laura Sawkins. I am Superstar Director of Team Glitter Sparkle. I am originally from near Hull, where Vicky's from, but now I live in Essex. I've been here for 15 years, married an Essex boy. Never went back really, so I'm still here. So yeah, I've been with Sensi for 4 years in April. And just literally couldn't love it more. Like literally, I just live, eat and breathe Sensi. My whole family do now. So that's a little bit about me. Okay, 3 tips. When Lisa messaged me today and said, right, can you talk for just 15 minutes? Tam said, just 15 minutes. I was like, okay, I'll try. I'll do my best. So my first tip is, which one am I going to go with? Okay. Similar to what Carla just said, but a little bit of a different take. So I've written like, don't compare. Obviously, Carla touched on, you know, being unique and embracing who you are, and that's super, super important. But what I kind of want to touch on is don't worry about like other people. Crystal Maze, get me Crystal Maze timer on, I will do. And also, me and Lisa have got the same cardigan on, by the way. We've just noticed. We didn't plan that. Okay, so don't worry about other people. Now, what do I mean by that? There's 2 things that I mean about that. So the first one is, do not worry about the opinions of other people, okay? When you do something new or different in life or outside of the norm, people are going to have opinions. It is just human nature, okay? And we all, I'm sure now, have heard them all, okay? It's a scam, it's a pyramid, you're never going to earn any money, it's a cult, all the things. And do you know why we've heard all the things? Is because I totally, 100%, wholeheartedly hold my hands up and say, I used to say all the things. I used to think all the things. I remember years and years ago, I was working in an estate agents and having that conversation. And my God, am I glad I got over myself, because, you know, so people are going to have an opinion, and it's not personal. It's just people don't understand. And I understand it's a skill to not listen to them, but just think about this. Do those people pay your bills, pay your mortgage, pay your debt, pay for you to go on holiday, buy your kids' school shoes? Do they pay for any of them? No, they do not. So you do not listen to their opinions, okay? Nobody else gets to tell you how big your dreams can be. That is all on you. And that is a Rachel Hollis quote, and that is going to come to something else I'm going to talk about in a minute. So, and also, why would you take advice, right? Why would you take advice and listen to the opinion of Joe Blogs, well, I was going to say down the pub, but pubs are closed at the moment. But, you know, Joe Blogs down the street, who's never achieved anything that you aspire to be. Only ever listen to the opinions of people that you aspire to be like. If you surround yourself, that's kind of going into something else I was going to say. You need to surround yourself with people that you are inspired by and that you get energy from, and that you need to listen to your gut when you're around people, okay? Because your gut never lies. I literally have lived my life by never listening to this, always listening to this and my heart, and it's never led me wrong. People have told me I'm bonkers when I was moving to the other end of the country to marry a man I've only known for like 5 minutes, or, you know, like all these things. I'm doing all right. Like, I've done all right, because you have to not listen to the opinions of other people, because in 20 years, they're not going to be there looking back going, oh, I wonder what she did. That's all on you. So you need to not worry about the opinions of others. So that's really, really important. Okay. Second thing I mean about that is. Carla obviously said don't compare yourself to other people, but also don't worry about what other people are doing. Yes, there's a lot of sensory consultants around you, but you need to stay in your lane and focus on your business. And I cannot stress this more. Now, I don't mean necessarily so much as in a comparison game, but as in I'm just going to say it, the elephant in the room. There's always going to be people that sell on eBay. There's always going to be people that do raffles. There's always going to be people that do what they shouldn't do. And that's not just in Scentsy. That is just like in the world. There's always going to be people that think they know a better way, but all they are doing is sinking their own ship. All they are doing is thinking about like the short-term gain. You know, by doing a raffle, they're not building a business that's going to be around in 20 years. It's leaving a legacy for their children, are they? Let's be honest, if they want to raffle a warmer. They're thinking small, okay? You want to be a Scentsy consultant. You want to grow and develop and work your way through the compensation plan and grow a team and reach superstar director and grow as a person. You're not going to do that by raffling. So don't worry about what other people are doing. Stay in your lane and focus on your own business, because by the time you've sent that message to your sponsor or to your director or whoever and gone, oh my God, I'm so annoyed, this person's selling like the energy, I've got to take this off, I'm really warm. The energy that you've used on sending that text message, you could have followed it with a customer and sold a wax bar. Like literally, do not let them steal your energy. Your energy and your fire inside is so important, and I'm going to come to that in a minute. But just literally, don't worry about what the people are doing. Stay in your lane and just don't worry about what's going on around you, because honestly, if you really, really start to understand that, like your business will fly. Okay, that's the first one. There were loads of other ones that I've already said. So throw away all your excuses. That was one I was going to touch on. Simplicity, really important. But the next thing I'm going to say is, do not run 2 network marketing businesses at the same time. It doesn't work. I've never known. So I was with another company before Scentsy for 2 years. Had a little bit of success. I just never felt the love. Like Ashley said, like to have real success, you have to, like people, that if you're faking your passion, people are going to see through that. I literally love Scentsy. Maybe a little bit more than Dan, don't tell me. No, I'm joking. But that's what I mean. Like you have to be passionate about it. And that's why I left my first company, because I knew that it wasn't right. And they never overlapped, okay? I stepped away. I was away for 6 months before I joined Scentsy. But you can't, when people say, oh, I've done this, but I've joined so-and-so as well. I've done this, but I've joined so-and-so as well. They're like, can I do that? I'm like, you can if it's not a conflicting product, but why? Why would you? Because it is so much more than selling a product. And if you're really, really like listening to trainings and taking advice and you want to build this properly, you absolutely cannot do that by doing 2 companies at the same time. And I've had team members and I've been totally, utterly honest with them. You know, I've been watching what they've been doing Scentsy and I've tried, you know, and they're like, oh, well, I'm just doing this. And I'm like, honestly, go and do the other one. Because the time and energy I am pouring into them and having conversations with them and then they don't understand we're not getting anywhere, and then one story's this and one story's this, and then some. Fraser Brooks, I saw on his stories recently, and it literally, it was like a lightning bolt. Like honestly, he said, talk about everything and you will be known for nothing. You need to find what you are passionate about and go all in, because people will remember that. And they're not, if you're just going, or if you're talking about like, you know, this incredible opportunity, which one are you talking about? You cannot build 2 network marketing businesses at the same time. Joanne Davidson's term, you can't ride 2 horses. I remember her saying that quite early on in my journey. So find what you're passionate about and go all in with that one, because that is where success is going to come. Okay, number 3, and this is one I could literally talk all night on. My sister laughs that all I talk about is Scentsy. Let her laugh. Honestly, there's worse things you could be talking about. Honestly, it is. So I'll just tell you that story. So Dan has got a hoodie that he wears that says "Husband of a Wax Boss." Totally his doing. And he, on Christmas Eve this year, he left his company of 16 years, and we're a full-time work from home family now. And we had to go back in. He worked in the motor trade to get my car serviced a couple of weeks ago, and we went in, and some of the guys he used to work with were like you know, like blokes are like ripping him a little bit, and he just said, look, he went, I would wear a purple onesie if she wanted me to now. He went, I don't care. He was, and they all kind of like stepped back a bit, and he went, honestly, he went that, and to see him say that, like, as you know, it's amazing. So honestly, that will start to feed in. You just need to not worry about the opinions of others. Okay, third thing, personal development. Personal development. This is a subject I could talk on all day, all night, till like you all fall asleep. But it is something before Sensi, I was a fitness instructor, and that is something that you kind of touch on when you do your studying for that. But until I got involved with Sensi, I'd never really like delved into the world of personal development to the level I have now. And my goodness me, if there is ever a subject that like categorically has changed my business and changed my life, it is working on yourself and your personal development. Because whether it's reading a book, listening to a podcast, listening to YouTube trainings, like honestly and truly, it will change everything. And I have, the secret is a huge, like was a huge part of that, which has also led on to the book, The Magic. And I've got it here, and I've highlighted, and I did a whole training on this with my team the other week, but I'm just going to read a little section of it because I just thought it was really, really powerful. And it talks about being grateful. Now, when you realize the power of, okay, so Callie, that's literally what I'm gonna cover on. The first thing, the law of attraction, working on your mindset, and the power of being grateful. Honestly and truly, they are some topics that I would advise you to start working on, because, and I know people will say like, oh yeah, I am grateful, but unless you actually realize what practicing gratitude is, what it involves, and you actually really intentionally start doing it, like it literally just unlocks the key to anything you want in your life. Because if you're not grateful for what you have now, and if you don't know if you think, oh, I've got nothing to be grateful for, and there's a pandemic and da 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 da, how about the fact that you woke up today, that you've got eyes that can see, and breath in your body, and legs that work, and hands that can touch things, and a roof over your head, and food in your fridge? Like, that is as deep as you've got to go. And I'm totally gonna, and I know where I get it from, so and I'm just gonna share this because this is me being true and honest. My mum has got multiple sclerosis, and she's in a wheelchair, and without even realizing it, obviously seeing that every day since I was born has like just is in me. Like, I will always find the positive and always find things to be grateful for. And I kind of did it, and then once I realized how to develop on that, it's just, honestly, it's just incredible. So find things every day to be grateful for, because when you find things every day to be grateful for, you attract more good stuff into your life. And it is science, and I'm not going to like read the whole book, but The Secret and The Magic, I 100% recommend you reading. So I'm just going to read you a little chapter of it, and then I promise I'm hopefully in my 15 minutes. So if you take any activity, any art, any discipline, any skill, take it and push it as far as it will go, push it beyond where it has ever been before, push it to the wildest edges of edges, then you force it into the realms of magic. How can it be that a person who is born into total poverty, starts out with nothing, has very little education, goes on to become a president or a celebrity, or builds an empire, and becomes one of the wealthiest people in the world? And how is it that two people can start out in the same career or the same sense of business, and yet one person's business or career goes from success to even greater success, while the other person never gets off the ground, no matter how hard they seem to try? The missing link to success is gratitude, because according to the law of attraction, you have to be grateful for what you have to attract success to you. So without gratitude, it is impossible to have success. To bring success, or to increase the good things into your job or your business, like opportunities, promotions and money, brilliant ideas, inspirations and appreciation, it is essential to be grateful for where you are now. The more gratitude you have, the more gratitude you have, the more you will have to be grateful for. And you should be getting the idea by now that to increase anything in your life, you have to be grateful for what you already had. So, I think that's me. I hope that was all right. Thank you.
Oh, that was amazing. You get me so emotional. I love that. I loved it. Right. Let me unspotlight you. Right, guys. That's us all. We've done it. Oh my God, we've done it with 5 minutes to spare. That's pretty impressive. Has anyone got any questions? Anything at all? If you have, shoot. Use this time. I want to ask a question. Ashley, can you sing?
No.
Go on.
This is why I play the fiddle, so that I don't have to sing. I do not open my mouth.
I can stop playing. I can turn the recording off if you like.
Oh, come on, Ashley.
No, that's okay. But thanks for the encouragement.
This is your moment.
Actually, do you know what? There is a video of me singing 2 weeks ago. Long story short, I received the wrong phone call Saturday night at about 1 o'clock from Newfoundland. So any of you who knows what Newfoundland is like, that would be like getting a call from somebody at a pub downtown in England or Scotland. You want to pick up because it's going to be good. And we sang together, actually. The phone call ended up being an hour and a half. Wrong phone call. We sang together. There is a video of it, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet.
We're ready.
I'm not sure if we're all on that level, but it was fun.
I love you. You kill me. Right, guys. Has anyone got anything? I hope that I have learned so much tonight. So I'm absolutely buzzing, as I always am after every Rockstar Academy. But I hope you guys have all found it useful. Is that you? That's talking.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Do you know what I love though? When we all get together, even if we're talking about the same subjects, I feel like we've all got such different take on it, and it's so everything. There's nothing complicated in what anyone has said tonight. Everything is so simple, and they're like our best tips. That's what I think always gets me. I'm like, it's so simple. You can take all of these things and implement every single thing easy.
Well, the business is ridiculously simple. You get people interested in the product, and then they join your team, and then you just find more customers. They join your team. It's just like a never-ending. Don't overcomplicate it. Just keep on growing that network, sharing your products, and loving what you do.
Love it.
Just ordered some extras for gifts to customers. Yeah, I'm totally thinking I need to do that too, about like my customers with children and pets and stuff like that. Right, guys, I'm going to press stop recording.